Have you ever felt like you're just running on a treadmill? You know, working for the weekend, counting down the years until you can finally retire? Well, what if you could hop off that treadmill decades early? Today, we're going to break down the path to early financial freedom, and we're tailoring it specifically for us here in India. So let's dive right in.
And this right here, this is the absolute core of what we're talking about. See, this isn't about not wanting to work or being lazy. Not at all. It's about getting to a point where your money is working for you so hard that it gives you the freedom to choose how you spend your time. Work can become a passion project, something you want to do, not a financial necessity. Just understanding that one shift, it changes the entire game.
So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to redefine what we're actually aiming for. Then, we'll get into the numbers. We're going to chart the course. After that, we'll look at the tools you need in your arsenal, the financial dragons you'll have to slay, and finally, the incredible mindset shift that comes when you achieve this goal.
All right, first things first, we've got to be on the same page about what this early retirement thing even is. You can forget that old picture of just sitting around doing nothing. This is about gaining total control over your most valuable asset, your time. So in the Indian context, we're generally talking about breaking free from that 9-to-5 grind somewhere between, say, 40 and 50 years old. But the really critical part is that a salaried job becomes a choice, not a necessity. It's something you can do if you want to, not something you have to do to pay the bills. That's the key principle, optionality.
But before you can build any kind of plan, you need a blueprint. And that blueprint, well, it starts with you. Seriously, take a second and think about this. Where do you see yourself living? A buzzing city or a quiet town? What does an ideal day look like for you? Answering these questions helps you nail down the most important number to start with, your expected monthly expenses.
Okay, so you've got a vision in your head. Perfect. Now let's get practical and turn that vision into a real, concrete number. This is where we figure out your freedom number. Let's just walk through an example to make it super clear. Let's say, after thinking about it, you figure you'd be really comfortable living on 50,000 rupees a month. And that's in today's money, of course. This covers your bills, your groceries, plus a little extra for some fun stuff.
Now, the next step is easy. We just scale that up for the whole year. 50,000 rupees a month, you multiply that by 12, and you get an annual expense of 6 lakh rupees. This is what your desired lifestyle costs per year. Simple enough, right?
This brings us to a really powerful rule of thumb. In India, a good, safe target for your total retirement savings, what we call your corpus, is about 30 to 35 times your annual expenses. Why that much? Because it ensures you can live off the money your investments make without having to dip into the original pile too quickly.
So let's run the numbers. 6 lakh rupees a year, let's multiply it by 33, that's a nice number in the middle, and that gives us a target of 1.98 crore rupees. Now, that sounds like a huge number, and it is. This is your first major milestone, calculated in today's value. But hold on a second. There's a hidden enemy that can absolutely wreck even the most perfect plan. It's this silent wealth killer, working against you 24/7. I am, of course, talking about the dragon of inflation. See, in India, inflation is a pretty big deal. It averages around 6 to 7% every single year. What that means is the 1.98 crore we just calculated, well, it won't buy you nearly as much stuff in 10 or 15 years. We absolutely have to account for this.
So if you're planning to retire in, let's say, 15 years, that almost 2 crore target, well, it balloons to roughly 6 crore rupees in future money. And this is so important. It shows you exactly why just saving your money in a bank account is never going to be enough. This is your real target, the number you need to be aiming for.
So, how on earth do you get to a number like 6 crore? A number like 6 crore. I mean, you definitely can't just save your way there from your salary. You need an arsenal, a whole set of wealth-building tools. Let's get into the investment strategy that can actually make it happen.
So here's a look at a really solid, balanced portfolio. The first thing you'll notice is that biggest slice of the pie, right? 60% in equity. That's your engine. That's where the growth comes from. Then you've got debt for stability, gold as a kind of insurance policy against chaos, and cash for immediate needs. Diversification, my friends, is absolutely key. I mean, this slide really says it all. If you just rely on your salary, you are fighting a losing battle against inflation. It's just a fact. But then you look at the other side, equity investing. With those long-term average returns of 11 to 13% in India, that's how you make your money work harder than you do. It's not optional for this plan. It's essential. Okay, so how do you fuel this investment engine? You start with something called a systematic investment plan, or SIP. It's just a simple way to invest a fixed amount automatically every month. And then you increase that amount every single year. Every bonus you get, any extra income, it goes straight into your investments. And this is crucial. As your income goes up, you have to fight the urge to upgrade your lifestyle. Pay your future self first.
Now, the path to financial freedom is never a perfect straight line. There are always going to be some dragons to slay along the way. So let's talk about the most common hurdles and, more importantly, how to conquer them. The biggest, baddest dragon of them all is bad debt. It's like trying to climb a mountain with an anchor tied to your leg. The rules to beat it are simple. First, high-interest debt like credit cards, that's your #1 enemy. Attack it with everything you've got. And please never take a personal loan for a vacation or a new phone. Don't finance your lifestyle with debt. You know, one single unexpected medical bill can wipe out years of hard-earned savings. It happens all the time. That's why your financial defenses are completely non-negotiable. We're talking a solid health insurance policy, an emergency fund with at least a year's worth of expenses saved up, and term life insurance. These are the shields that protect your entire quest.
Real freedom means you're not relying on just one source of income. When you finally retire, your income will come from your assets. This could be through a systematic withdrawal plan, or SWP. It's like a reverse SIP that pays you every month. Or it could be rent from a property, dividends from stocks, or even some part-time consulting in a field you actually enjoy.
You know, we've talked a lot about numbers and strategies, but the ultimate goal, the real prize at the end of this journey, it's not the amount of money in your bank account. It's the change that happens inside your own head. Just look at this transformation. It's a total shift. You go from a world where work is compulsory to one where it's completely optional. You stop chasing paychecks and you start pursuing a purpose. You move from living impulsively to living with intention. This right here is the real reward. This is true wealth.
So let's end with this. Financial freedom is not some far-off dream that's only for a few lucky people. No, it's for the disciplined. It all starts with a single decision. The decision to start today, to be conscious of where your money goes, and to invest for your future self consistently, month after month. The only question left is, will you make that decision?